Hello everyone, it's Mr. Martin and I'm going to show you today some of the very basics of using Photoshop on the computer and then talk to you about what your first assignment's going to be. So first thing you have to do is make sure you have Photoshop installed on your computer. If you have not done that, be sure to go back and look at last week's assignment on how to install it on your computer. Otherwise, you can continue on with this tutorial. So I have Photoshop already on the bottom of my taskbar here. If you have not yet added that, and you need to find Photoshop, just go into the search, type in Adobe, and it's going to pull up all the Adobe apps you might have installed. And I'm going to double click on Photoshop. And it's going to open up. So now Photoshop is a photo editing program, and that's really what we're going to be using it for during your work this trimester, is how to use it to delete stuff out of pictures, merge pictures, do some blending things, and really to edit your work. This first assignment is going to be pretty easy. Really, it's going to be all about how to get stuff into the document and then manipulate it. You can see some of my things I've already done before, including my creepy face. So this is what it looks like. When you first get into Photoshop, you're going to click on Create New, and it will pull this up. So I have some recent document sizes I've already done. You probably at this point won't. So we're going to go to Print on the top, and you're going to just click on a standard letter size. That's 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Well, over here on the presets on the right, you're going to name it. So you're going to put your name, first name, last initial, and then call it Name Collage, because that is the first assignment you're going to do. Right now, the document is 8.5 inches tall and 11 wide. I actually want to flip that because I want it to be turned sideways. So we're going to click on Orientation and turn it sideways. We also have pixels here. That's the resolution, so how clear of an image it's going to be. Background, all of this looks good. Make sure it's a RGB color, not black and white. So you're going to hit Create. And here it is. So I'm going to full screen mine here. So on mine, you can see I have some tasks and stuff, some toolbars already up and floating over here. If you don't have that, and have these windows, you want to make sure you go to Window, go to Workspace, and go to Essentials. And make sure that is clicked. So it should be pretty solid there. Move my face out of the way so we can see everything. Then on the left side here is where you have all of your Photoshop tools. So there are a lot of them to choose from. You're not going to be using all of those or even most of those today. Today we're just going to be using a couple of them. We have our selection tool in order to grab and move things around. We have these tools, which you'll learn about more next week. These are our different types of selections, so you can delete out certain parts of pictures, cropping tools, etc. Really, all we're going to use today is going to be and also notice that if you highlight over it, it tells you what the tool is. Wanted to touch on that too, and then gives you a little bit on how to use it. And you can also click on Learn How, so it gives you quite a bit of information. Today, though, in here, we're mostly going to be using the text tool, and then we're going to bring in pictures off the internet to manipulate. So to start with our name collage, we need our name. So over here is the text tool. You're going to click on it. And then you're going to click and drag a box where you want to write your name. Notice right now it is pretty small. So once it's all highlighted here, you can actually change the size of the font by either clicking the drop-down menu, or you can also double click and type in a number, or you can, when it's highlighted, press the up arrow. I'm going to put in my name, which is Mr. Nope, down here. Select everything. Mr. Let's try again. Mr. Martin. Notice that right now I have this weird yellowish font. It's from a project I was working on earlier. To change it, you highlight the text, go up to the top, click on the color picker. Right now I'm in this weird sandy yellowish group. I'm going to slide and maybe look at some reds. You can see as you're doing it in the background, it kind of changes as well. I like that one. And so from there, I can also, as long as I'm highlighted, change the name of the font. I can select over it and just press the up and down keys to get a look at it, or I can also click the drop-down menu and find a font that I like. That one's like super fancy. I don't know if I want that one. No, Arial's not a fun font. Baskerville. So don't spend too much time. Well, you can spend more time. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'll go with this font. I probably never actually use this in reality, but that's what I'm doing here. So now I don't like where that is, so I want to move it. So right now you can see I still have the text box on. So if I were to click and try to move this, all I'm actually going to do every time I click now is draw a new text box. So we need to make sure that we are not on that, but we are on the move tool, which is the very top one. I'm going to move it. Notice it gives the nice grid, so now I'm perfectly centered on the document. Voila. Mr. Martin, that's it for the text at least. The other thing you're going to want to do is add some pictures. And so the best way to get pictures is, as always, to go on the internet. So I'm going to open up a new window on Chrome. I want you to choose at least 6 images here to add into your name collage. And what I'm looking for is stuff that is going to tell me a little bit about you, especially if you're at home in cohort C and I don't know you very well. This is a great chance for you to tell me a little bit about you. What do you like to do? Maybe pets you have, food you like, just interests, hobbies, passions. Things I would put in here for me is, let's say I'm a big Minnesota Vikings fan. I would do a search for Vikings logo, maybe. I know they're terrible this year and it's very sad. That's okay. Click on the one I like. I like this one. It's kind of classic. Right-click the image and copy image. Then we're going to go back to Photoshop. From here, I can just, on my keys, hit Control-V, and it will paste the document in. Now notice right now the Vikings logo is over the Mr. Martin text. Over here on the layers, you can see, I'll move it over here, a more prominent view, you'll actually see the order that the layers are in. So right now I have 3 layers. I have the background white logo, or background white paper, I have my text box, and I have the picture I just brought in. Now I can click and move these and reorder them. So I could move Mr. Martin over the top if I wanted, and I could have that over the Vikings logo. And I can move that and center it if I wanted to. Looks a little cluttery for me, so I'll probably actually move the Vikings logo into the corner. Now notice if I wanted to move the Vikings logo on the layers, I have to be clicked on that layer, which is why sometimes I will double click and rename the layer. Because if you start doing a lot of projects where you will have, I've had over 20, 30 different layers, you're going to want to be able to find it really quickly. So I like naming them. You can also hide the layer. So if you wanted to work on stuff, not have it visible at the time. Same with the text. Same with the background. I can hide the background. So I'm going to work on this Vikings layer because right now I don't like the size of it. I need to shrink it down. To shrink it down, what you're going to need to do is a couple things. One, you could go to the top, click on this icon, which is the transform controls. Otherwise, I can also, on my keyboard, do Control-T, which pulls up the same thing. And you're going to drag from the corner. Notice when you drag from the corner, it's going to keep the aspect ratio, meaning it's not going to squish it. If I grabbed from the sides, it still does that because that was an update they just did. If I wanted to rotate, I can hover above a corner. See how now the arrow looks curved? And I can rotate either by dragging it, or I can type in the exact rotation number I want up here. one at 0. When you're done and everything looks as you want it, you have to hit the check mark. Can't do anything else until you hit the check mark after you transform. Voila. That's one image. I want you to do 6. I'll put in another one here just so you can see it again. I'm going to go to my Google Images again. I'm going to pull up, really big right now, into Animal Crossing. Family's been playing it a lot. I get those bells, so I'm going to find Animal Crossing. Maybe actually I'll just go with the leaf and see if people can get the reference here. Right-click it again. Copy image. Back to Photoshop. Control V, as in Victor, on the keyboard. Now you can notice, look how tiny that image is. It's a really tiny picture. So again, I'm going to go up to the transform tools, because that's got to be bigger. That doesn't work for me. Resize it. It looks blurry right now. Hopefully, I put that in and hit the check mark. Go clean it up. A little blurry, but it's okay. This right now, the white is also going over the Minnesota logo. So I could try to move those layers again, put the Vikings on top. Voila. I would also like it if you were to include a picture of yourself. You can get that maybe off social media, or you can find it, take a screenshot or take a picture, a selfie, and load it up onto your computer and add that as well. Again, especially if you're somebody that I'm not seeing regularly at school, it'd be nice to get a picture of you and know what you look like. So let's pretend for a minute that I did everything. I have all 6 images on there. My text is good on my name. Now we have to load it up onto Schoology. To do that, we are going to go to File. We are going to go to Save As. Now, a couple things you need to do is, one, you have to pay attention to where you save it. So on the left side here is going to be the possible spots to save it. I like saving my stuff in documents. It just makes it easier for me to find, and I know that it's always there. So I'm currently in the documents. Save the file name as you did when you typed up the beginning of the document, when you created it, your first name, last initial, dash name collage. Then you need to look at Save As Type. Right now, it defaults to a PSD, which is a Photoshop document. I need you to click on this and instead select JPEG. So there are 3 options. Just choose the one on top. And then you hit Save. It's going to pull up options, how quality of the image, and just 5 is fine. It's a standard medium image. There's nothing special about the picture you're loading up. It doesn't need to be super high quality. Hit OK. And now it is saved. So then back on Google Chrome, you're going to now go to school.district196.org. And you'll be on Schoology, and you're going to load it up. Now, I can't show you what that looks like because I don't have student access to Schoology, so yours is going to look different. Click on the appropriate class, find your assignment in the folder that you found these directions, click Submit, and when it props up the window for selecting files, you'll just go back to Documents or wherever you saved it. I like to sort mine by date modified, and then it will be right on top. And that's what you will load into Schoology and hit Submit. If you have any questions or something about this isn't making sense, the spot is to Google an answer, then hopefully you can find it out right away. Otherwise, send me an email or a Schoology message, and hopefully I can get back to you right away. Good luck. I would recommend when you're done, even after you submitted this, spend some time on Photoshop, just play around, see what it is you can do with it. Don't forget to click like and subscribe at the bottom of this video. Thanks.